What up, everybody? Hope you're having a good day, but we got something else to talk about right away. We're going to talk about the legend and the Hall of Famer, Evander Holyfield, arguably one of the greatest boxers of all time, past and present. It's hard to mix these guys from the other generation with this current and new upcoming generation because it's kind of like you're all together as a freshman, a junior, a sophomore, and then a senior, right? So you're together in that sense, but you're separate by the layers. So just by generation, they're all in boxing, but they're separate by generation. And they're just not the same. Like, of course, they're people and they're humans and all that, but I don't know what it is. It's kind of like my analogy or comparison to the freshman to the senior. Each class truly is different in their own peculiar ways as an actual group. And there's similarities. You can compare anything and, do the whole contrast thing, compare and contrast. But in other words, Holyfield, he was one of the greatest. You got to separate him in his own sense based on generation. There will be nobody like him. They don't come like him anymore, just like they don't come like Tyson or Foreman and so many other guys I just can't mention right now because there's just too many names. Ali, it just goes on and on and on. But what Holyfield said, I had to give Holyfield his props and his credit. But what he said about Wilder and Fury's second fight, I really appreciate his approach and his honesty. He didn't open the can of worms too much to try to shake the world, but he definitely used his ability to articulate his message in undertones with what he really felt was going on in that second fight. And I think he was really saying, no matter how you look at it, it's almost damn near impossible for a guy like Wilder to have a day as bad or a night as bad as the night that he had that night. It's almost like, in other words, he was just trying to say it's almost laughable, ludicrous, and preposterous to propose that that was the case. It was just a bad night for him. It couldn't have been just a bad night for him. And, Evander's a real one. And that's why they call him the real deal Holyfield. Dude still looks young. People thought he'd be a lot more punch drunk. But as you can see, he's thinking well. His ideas are full. His sentences are full. He can get out what he's trying to say. And so all that boxing and that head trauma over the years and decades, just getting punched in the head, literally your cranial cavity, your brain just bouncing around against your skull, that takes a toll on these boxers throughout a lifetime. And they start training at a young age. A lot of them were just, in their early 20s, most of them, or even late teens. They become professional, many of these guys. So you can do your own research about what happens to boxers, okay, over the course of their lifetime and their careers. But surprisingly, Evander Holyfield, for what he's been through, not to take away attention from the subject of this matter about Deontay Wilder, but he's been through so much trauma. This may actually have something to do with Wilder. I mean, you want to talk about head trauma. I mean, Evander Holyfield, he's dodged a lot of hits, but he's taken a lot of hits too. And look where he's at mentally, and look at the damages he sustained. He hasn't sustained much. It looks like you would think a guy like Evander Holyfield in a frame of his face would be shattered and broken by some of the big guys that he's faced. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't even start off boxing as an actual heavyweight. He was a cruiserweight or some type of heavy middleweight, middle heavyweight or some shit. He wasn't a real heavyweight. He went up to heavyweight and became one of the greatest, if not the greatest heavyweight of all time. I think he was like a 2-time undisputed or something. I don't know. I got to look this up. Evander's so great, I got to relook his shit up. But I really got to put some respect on Evander Holyfield's name, the truth that he spoke, his real honest opinion, his testimony, from what he's seen in Wilder, what he's seen that night. He said he knew something was off, something wasn't right. I think he knows the cheating. Evander saw those gloves. Evander saw the evidence. He saw everything. And I think he just understands just like I and you do and you and I do. You know what I'm saying? We know the truth and we're not going to let it leave us. With that being said, let's just close it right now. We'll touch back on this topic. The third fight is coming. We knew this. It's here. In fact, it's so close, it almost seems like it's not real. But go ahead and like this video. Subscribe to MCTV if you want to see more videos like this, because I will be coming at y'all with more. It's Bomb Squad. Shout out to the LDBC, the Lions Den boxing community. Let's get it.